Today is Tuesday, March 1st. Welcome to March, everybody, and this week we're in PSL number 8, so hopefully your ISTEP went great this morning. Let's do our PSL. Good job to you if you're working on this right now. So number 1, find the volume of a sphere. So the first thing that we need is our formula that we're going to be using all week, but the formula to find the volume of a sphere. So that is 4 pi r squared divided by, I lied, pi r cubed divided by 3. So this tells us that we have a sphere with a diameter of 10. So if diameter is equal to 10, then our radius is going to be 10 divided by 2, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we're going to substitute that into our equation. So now in our equation we've got 4 times pi times 5 to the third power, and all of that divided by 3. So we're going to do 5 to the third power and simplify that. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is going to make 125. So now we're going to combine 4 and 125 by multiplying those together, which gives us 500, and we still have pi over there. So 500 pi, and we still have our divide by 3 on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify this 500 divided by 3, which is actually going to give me like a fraction or a decimal answer, but it's 166.6 repeating, and we're still multiplying times pi. So now I'm going to use my calculator and multiply times a pi button, which is going to give me a big decimal, 523.59, but I'm just going to write 59. So now to decide what my final answer is, this 9 is bigger than 5, so I'm going to round 0.5 up to 0.6. So my answer is 523.6, and the unit that we were measuring in is centimeters, and I ran out of room. Centimeters, and because we're doing that for volume, it's cubes. There it is. Okay, moving on to the second part, which is to find the surface area of a sphere. So we need our formula, which is 4 times pi times radius squared. So again, our diameter is 10, so if d is equal to 10, then radius is going to be equal to 10 divided by 2, which is also known as 5. So now we can begin substituting. So instead of r, I've got 4 times pi times 5 squared. 5 times 5 is going to be 25. So this becomes 4 times pi times 25. And now I can combine 4 times 25, which is going to give me 100 pi. So now I'm going to multiply 100 times my pi button, which is going to give me 314, and then a big, long, ugly decimal, 0.15. And in order to figure out my decimal to the tenths, Carter. Okay, back to business. Because 5 is 5 or larger, we're going to round this one up to 0.2. So this becomes 314.2, and again we're working in centimeters, and surface area is only squared. So there is our answer for the second part of number 1. Next is number 2. We're going to do both volume and surface area again for both of these also. So for the volume of a sphere, we need to do 4 times pi radius cubed divided by 3. This is the uglier, the yuckier, harder one of the two. And you can see in our picture, I didn't draw on it very good, but our radius is equal to 5. So we're going to do 4 times pi times 5, and that's squared, or I'm sorry, cubed, and then divide by 3. And this looks super familiar because we just did this one for our diameter of 10, which is also a radius of 5, but this time it's inches, so this is going to look super familiar to you. So this simplifies to 4 pi. When we do 5 times 5 times 5, we get 125. And then we're going to divide by 3. And now you can continue on by doing 4 times 125, which is equal to 500 pi divided by 3. So we can now do 500 divided by 3, which equals 166.6 repeating pi. So now I'm going to go ahead and do 166 into the calculator times the pi button. And when I do that, again, it's the same answer as before, but I get 523.59. So in order to figure out my decimal here, I'm going to look at my hundredths.
I found cat poop.
You found cat puke? Oh my, sorry about that. So now I'm back to where I was. 9 is larger than 5, so I'm going to end up rounding up. So this is going to be a total of 523.6. But this time we're in inches, but volume is still cubic. And now on to part B, the surface area. So our formula is 4 pi radius squared. And we know from our picture that our radius is 5 inches. So now we're going to take our 5 and we're going to do 5 times 5. So that's going to simplify to 4 pi, 5 times 5 is 25. And then when we multiply 4 times 25, we get 100 pi. So using the pi button, you're going to do 100 times the pi button, which again gives you a total of 314.15. Good practice to look at our rounding. 5 will round up, so this 1 becomes a 2. So it's 314.2, and this is in inches squared.